You like it? You like it? Oh wow. And look, family picture. Family picture. Not if I know how.
Hey guys, it's JohnyTechReview. Today I have a review for you of this G Action Sport 4K camera. So I've been using this camera for about 3 weeks now, and out of those 3 weeks, 2 of them I've been on vacation and I've been taken to the beach to various different places. So this camera have a simple unboxing experience. It comes with a simple box, and inside you get the camera itself, an improved 1400 mAh battery which will give a pretty good runtime, and I'll get into detail of that a bit later. A USB cable and a menu. That's basically about it. A simple packaging, you're not getting much out of this. So along with the camera, I also have some extra accessory. This was the Bluetooth selfie stick, and this I think was about 30 or 40 bucks, and then there's also a water housing which was about $20. Since the camera does not come with any mounting accessory, you can use this water housing and then use any typical GoPro or SJ4 Action Sport camera accessory, and that should work perfectly fine in this unit, and that's what I did during the trip. So here's the camera. As you can see, it's a pretty small camera. Up front here you have the 4K recording video, 12 megapixel. There's a little LED light here to indicate recording status, and up top there's also another light here to indicate power. And then here you have the stereo input mic, which is really nice, and then here you have the speakers, and then on the side USB charging port. This is a micro USB charging port, and at the bottom you have access to the battery. So the battery is quite large, like I was saying earlier, and this battery here is actually proprietary to this unit. The previous Yi version, you cannot use that battery. That battery was actually smaller. So this battery here, as you can see, this is the size. It's a pretty beefy battery, and in my experience, this battery is really good. I only have one of these battery, and I can have almost 2 hours of recording out of this unit, which is quite impressive for this unit. And you will understand why here in a minute when I demonstrate some of the other features of this unit, and you can see why even with the screen on this unit, the recording is quite nice. In here you also have a slot for the micro SD, and in here I'm using a 64 gig Kingston card, and it works perfectly fine. Another thing nice on this unit is the included tripod thread. As you can see here, this tripod thread here is standard, and you can use that to mount it on any camera, or you can just put this inside a water housing and use the standard GoPro SJ4 accessory package if you want to do that. So on the unit, there's really only one button, and here's the reason why. This is how fast it boot up, and you can see it's ready to be used. The reason is because this unit is actually a touchscreen. Very nice. As you can see, the interface is quite simple. You have here some information up top, so I'm currently in I think time-lapse recording mode. Setting here, battery level, and then down here you have the preview button. You can press that and to see preview, and you can go back and forth here, as you can see, and you can also slide just like that. So anyway, you can switch between different mode by actually sliding just like this, swiping left and right. You can also click here in the middle and pick one of the mode, and you can scroll up and down just like this. So you have a lot of different mode here. So here's some of the mode. You have photo, timer, which is just a photo with a timer, buzz, a few pictures. You can set all that setting. Video, time-lapse video, slow motion, time-lapse photo. You can also have loop and video and photo. I really like the time-lapse videos because it's a quick way for you to set up time-lapse video, and it does all that inside the unit, and then you just end up with a time-lapse video, which is pretty simple. And if you want to do your own time-lapse, you can also do a time-lapse video, which take a picture of an interval that you like, and then you can also stitch them together into a video. Anyway, if you click one of these modes, for example video, we can click on this button here, and this will give us all the setting. So you can see here you have a lot of different resolution. You have here 4K, of course, 4K at the standard 4K, the 4K Ultra. As you can see here, these are 30 frames per second. You can click on any of these options here, and if you have other frame rate, it will show up on the after screen. So here at 1440p you can do 60 frames per second. If you go down to 1080p here, you can see that you can do up to 120 frames per second, and then also here 960, 720, and if you want to use 720, you can actually do 240 frames per second. There's some other video resolution option. You can see there's a lot of different choice, and I personally like 1080p at 60 frames per second. And in that option, if you set it to 1080p at 60 frames per second here, let me show you. 60 frames per second here. So if you use 1080p at 60 frames per second, what you get is a digital stabilizer, which is at the bottom here. And what that does is, I think the camera does a recording of a 4K, and then it crop in and then stabilize the footage. And in my experience, that works really well. When you're walking, you get less of that bobbing. So when you're walking around, you get less of that bobbing up and down the camera. What I did found that if you decide to turn on the digital stabilizer and you also turn on the lens distortion, this caused the image kind of tilted pan and it's kind of feel weird. So I would say avoid that together as an option. But if you just want to do digital stabilizer, I would turn that up. And if you don't do digital stabilizer, you can turn on the lens distortion, which will help to not get such a distorted image. And I think in practice that's worked pretty well, and I'll show you the difference between the two to kind of give you an idea. A bunch of other settings here, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Video quality high, and you can see here white balance, ISO, timestamp on and off, all that option. Another thing that usually unit have is of course is Wi-Fi, and I'll show you that in a minute here. And then also you have Bluetooth pairing, which is work with the Bluetooth remote control. And then here are some other options, not much more. Let me go ahead and pick another mode here. For example, let's go to photo, and then we pick the setting button again. Now you have different option. All the way from 12 megapixel down to 5 megapixel. You can set shutter mode to auto. You can set these different shutter mode, and then here you can see white balance, etc. again. And if we go to time lapse, there's something different here. Go to time lapse video, for example. You hit setting, you will see that you have different setting again. Interval, how often to take the pictures, up to all the way to 60 seconds. And then video length, how long the video length need to be, and you can also set it to off so that it just does it, it doesn't try to compress it to a certain standard. And then here again the resolution, 4K or 2.5K, mirroring, video quality, etc. So that kind of gives you an idea. So that's just a quick kind of overview of the features. I don't want to go too much detail into it. There's a lot of features here. I could spend pretty much an hour on just if you wanted to. So to use the Wi-Fi features, we need to go to setting, and then we need to go down here, and up top here there is a Wi-Fi option. We just have to turn it on, and then here you can get the Wi-Fi information, just like that. You have the option of 5 GHz or 2.4 GHz. This is really nice because on your new phone or mobile device you can get really fast bandwidth, and this way you can transfer and view pictures and video quicker than the 2.4 GHz. You can see here we have Yi, and just go ahead and pick that. So you have to connect to the Wi-Fi of the camera, and then that take about a second or so if you've done it before. And then we just have to run the Yi app. It's called the Yi Action app, when you can get it in the App Store or the Google Play Store. And then you can launch it here. It has a social network that I never signed up for. I just click skip, and then I click down here, this little button, which take me to the camera. And here we can see the fee is actually not too bad. It's about, I say, a quarter or a half a second delay. So you can see here, here's my hand. I'm gonna put my hand in front of it. You can see right now. I would say half a second right now, but not really bad. This is pretty typical, and you can kind of give you an idea right now. But in here, currently I'm in time lapse mode, which is corresponding to the last mode right now. You can also switch to slow motion. You can see here, very simple app to switch around like that. You can have lens distortion on and off. I kind of give you an idea. Again, let me show you that lens distortion. Let me turn it off. You get a wide angle here. You see, there's the lens distortion features, and then you can rotate the phone. You can add grid. Here in setting, you can see all different settings here, as you can see. And here, what's nice is you can also go to the device here and do a firmware update if it's needed to. I'm currently having the current version. I did do one update already, and here is the video lens distortion, some more features here. You can see a lot of different features here. In the app here is the only place where you can see the accurate battery meter. So right now I'm at 75%, kind of give you an idea right now. You can take picture or video by just pressing this button here, and then if you want to look at preview, which I want to show you right now, all the previous stuff that I took before, it's all gonna come in here. So here's all the different video that I took on vacation, pictures, etc. So if we just click on it real quick here, you can see how fast this is. So it's work really fast, and you can download it. Apparently you can zoom here, you can edit and share. The edit and share feature is pretty nice, kind of like Instagram. You have a lot of different filter and all that good stuff right here, you can see. So pretty interesting, stickers, all that kind of stuff. It's actually a pretty decent app, and Yi has a pretty nice social network here, and you can see all the different pictures that people post on here. I also want to show you a really quick video of how fast it's low here, for example. So we're just gonna do a video here, kind of give you an idea. So that's how fast it loads. So with the 5 GHz bandwidth, it's quite fast. So here we at the beach, another video here, kind of give you an idea. Here's my wife and the other kid. And I think this is with that distortion lens features on, so you can see when I pan it, it kind of act a little bit funny. So here is an example of a time-lapse video that I took. So press play here, kind of show you an idea right now. So that's the kind of like a time-lapse I said. I think this was for every 5 seconds to take a shot. And then here is a slow motion video. This is at 240 frames per second. We'll go ahead and press play here, and you can kind of see how slow and smooth this is. Really nice quality, not bad bit rate at all. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to the interesting part where I jump into the pool, I think. So this is all done within the camera. You can take it and put it in your favorite video editor and edit more if you want to, but this is kind of give you an idea. This is at 240 frames per second at 720p. So the only way you can get 240 frames is at 720p, of course. So yeah, as you can see, the app works pretty well, and there's not much I can complain about. It has all the detail, and within the app you can change the setting really quickly. A lot of different settings for the various different mode, and also the camera. You can also set kind of automatic turn off, some power saving feature here. So as far as powering features, as you can see here, the camera actually go into a standby mode when you are just using it on Wi-Fi, if you're not using it at all also. So you can also unlock the screen here. As you can see, it's a touch screen, and if you're recording, the screen will stay on for a few seconds and then it will go off. You can kind of have an idea because wherever you're pointing the camera to, but if you want the screen to always be on, you can turn the power saving features off. I do like leaving that power feature save on because I'm getting almost 2 hours usage out of this device, and that's normal without a Wi-Fi. With the Wi-Fi, it's a little bit less, but not much more. And I usually use it without a Wi-Fi anyway, inside a water housing, so I can take it to places on the selfie sticks. So as far as the accessory, I have two accessories. I have the water housing here and the selfie stick. And the water housing here, as you can see, is definitely different from the other water housing at the other device, because this only have one button here, so you definitely have to get the water housing. Now this water housing works pretty well. It does get fogged up, so if you get water in here, make sure you dry it first with a hair dryer or something before using it, otherwise this lens will get fogged up. But it's actually pretty well made, as you can see here. And then you have your setup here that you can just screw into a tripod here, which is just a little selfie stick, or you can just install another mount here and use any of the accessory from the GoPro or SJ4 5000 series again. What I don't like about this water housing is that it's pretty well built, but except this one thing, this hinge here just come off just like that, and that kind of give me some inconfidence. First time I took it off, I was like, well, that's too easy to take it off. But anyway, when they lock in place, and you have this lock here that you can lock, when that's in place, it's not going to come out, and it works pretty well using this underwater, and you can see some of my footage of that. Now the selfie stick. Selfie stick also works pretty well. It's one of those rotatable and retractable selfie sticks that come out like this. I use this in the ocean. You can hear the grindy, that's from probably the sand. But anyway, the selfie stick itself is waterproof and it works fine in the ocean. I usually rinse it afterward. The problem is the selfie stick also comes with a Bluetooth control, which is this guy here. And I did not know, but this is actually not waterproof. I mean, it should be found for splash proof, but if you cannot be submerged. I submerged this in the ocean, and the result is that I got salt water on this, and the thing is all corroded and not working. So I have to clean this out. Probably it will be working again when I fix it. But so other than that, the remote control is not waterproof. So don't use this in the ocean or lake. I would say stay away from that. But the selfie stick itself is fine. This is retract about 2 feet out, so you kind of give you an idea, and then you also have a mount at the bottom here to mount to another tripod or something like that. So guys, that's pretty much it. I really like the video quality of this product. I think this is a really superb product. So right now at a price, I think about $250, I think this is a really high-end competitor to something like the GoPro 4 Hero Blood series. So I think GoPro has something to enter, so we have to wait to see what GoPro will release for the 5 version. But right now this guy is the king, and the quality of this guy is really good as far as video and pictures. The audio quality is not too bad. Even in the water housing, I use that in the ocean. I can hear myself and my friends talking, and so overall I'm really impressed with the unit. So thank you Yi Technology for sending out this unit for me to review. I really like using it so far, and there's not much more I can complain about this unit. For the price, it's a really nice unit, and you can get a new battery for about 10 bucks. 15 bucks more, and go on forever with this unit. I'm really impressed with it. So guys, that's pretty much conclude my quick review. I hope your short little review helped you in your purchase decision. Please like the video if it helped you, and subscribe and stay tuned for future review. Thank you.